We do this all the time, but I just want to show you on my 3D printing extreme. You know, I have a version of it, but this is every 5 millimeters. Now it's millimeters though, but that's basically every not quite 1/4 inch, right? And the nice thing is even on 1/8 inch, it's small enough to where it'll fit on 1/8 inch. But like, let's say you want to do the hole spacing and you want them to be equal, right? So now as long as you do the same hole, you can do all 4 corners and it's going to be dead accurate every time. I mean, if you want to, like, and then you could decide which one you want. You pick that one and then you could just kind of mark it on here and now you do all 4 corners that way. It's gonna be right there, but I just thought it's a cool, quick way, because you know, the way I normally do it, same thing, right? Is the whole, like we talk about, you know, measure without measuring. So I do that. And then I do that. So now, and I could do that on all 4 corners, but I don't, with this, I don't have to do that. I can just, like I said, pick which one I want and then do it without having to grab one of these. So that's that one. This one I haven't, it's been a while. So it's, again, one of those things that we have it, but so this is cool. So let's say you needed to make this radius, but you want to make it smaller. You would measure where you want it. You see? So, but like even like this, so you see?
Yeah.
Right? Now the other version is this one. You know, Hondo, we've had that one. So this one, same thing. So the cool thing about this is you could mark a line, like let's say you wanted 1 inch from the edge. You move this till it's at that mark, and then you just ride the edge. So that's another one. The other one is this. So this is kind of cool. It's good for certain things. Like, so let's say you need to mark the holes. The cool thing is, so obviously this is a 3/32, so just under 1/8 of an inch. That's like most holes in speakers, amps, whatever. But let's say it's 1 inch thick, 2 inches thick. It's like, okay, how do you mark down? We do have those little, you know, the metal things that you slide down. But if you want to, you do that, right? And now you can mark it. Now, if the hole is slightly bigger, so it's 15/64, which is just under 1/4 inch, then you can do this one. And then that's a pretty good distance, but you can also, you figure like for a metal bracket or for something where it's 1/4 inch at the top, but the thing is 3-4 inches long, you can use this to get down in there and mark it, and you're gonna be that close. Just so you guys know, I don't know, have you ever used this one, Hondo?
No.
So it's got the sharpener right at the end.
Oh.
So you just sharpen it. You could either use it square,
yeah, for sure,
or you could sharpen it wherever you want. So, all right. So the other one, and Hondo knows this, I call this the stick. But it's, you know, if I want to, most boxes are 3/4 of an inch, right? So this is 3/4 of an inch. So let's say I wanted to design the box and I want to see where all my walls are going to be. So now, and that's perfect. Like if I want to trim all that off, I know that I'm exactly 3/4 of an inch because I'm using the actual material that we're using. Sometimes you guys know this stuff it says 3/4 of an inch, but it could be slightly smaller, slightly bigger. It's usually slightly smaller. And so this way, you're accounting for the exact material you're using. That makes sense? And then if you want to do it with anything else, you could take, like, let's say a piece of 5/8, right? So, or here, let's take a piece of 1/4. So I make these, this is 1.5 inches. You can make this, it's an 1 inch and 1/8. So you line it up. So now you just have an 1/8 inch lip. So now, 1/4 inch, right? And I could do that with any of these. That's why, so 16th, 8th, 3/16, quarter, 3/8, 5/8, 1/2 inch, 3/4, whatever. You just take one of these little strips, add it on there. All you got to do is create a little lip so it stops. So like if you're doing like, you know, the box or whatever, and I want to put a 1/4 inch thing, so that's where I want to build the bracket to or whatever, you can just do that. That makes sense? Okay, cool. The other one is, Hondo, you know this one, right? So, what do you think this is for, Rob?
Wooden tuning fork.
The wooden
Nice.
basically. So let's say I want to know where to nail here, right? I put it on here. Mark it on that side, Hondo, or Robert. So now I know to nail on the inside of that line, and I know I'm gonna hit it perfectly. There's no guessing. Again, it's the whole measure without measuring, right? Because you can measure, you can do all this, whatever, but you don't have to measure, right? You just slide this on there, draw it, and now it doesn't matter where it is, as long as you can slide this in before you put one of the final faces on, you'll be able to know exactly where it is without guessing. That makes sense? Okay. The other one, Hondo saw my awesome pencil. But this is actually, I've used it this morning, works awesome. So let's say like you have this inside radius. I want to get it, but let's say it's difficult, right? I can, like it's in a rough spot in a car or whatever. I can sit there and hold this like this to try to draw the line, but you can also lay it down and it won't, because you could do that with the pencil, and that's what I used to do. The pencil has a flat side. So you hold the flat side down and you can just run it. With this, it holds itself because,
a little easier.
And that's basically, it's 1/8 of an inch. If you look, when you lay it flat, the tip is right at the 1/8 of an inch mark. If you wanted to, I've done this, you can go on the belt sander and sand it down so that so you take some of this material off, then you're 1/16 of an inch off the floor. Does that make sense? Yeah. So now you put it on there, you draw the line, you're 1/16 off, which is nothing, right? And then this one is nothing. So no, it's all worn down. But you grind the point till it's in line with the flat part. So now you take it and you draw it, and it's gonna be dead even with your surface. Does that make sense? And again, it's just a pencil and you CA it. So you sharpen a pencil, take a little piece of ABS, wood, whatever, CA it to the end of it, lined up with the tip. What I usually do is put it like this and put it till it touches the table and then CA it. Because now I know that point is completely flat with the edge of whatever the wood or whatever I'm using. Does that make sense? Okay, so another cool one. This thingy. This thing is super useful. We never use the damn thing, but you remember that? Okay, so if I wanted to find the center of this, we talked about this part, but we didn't talk about this the last time. So you use just the 3. So you line it up, that's center. Now, let's say I have 2 of these and I want to space those evenly. You use 4. So if I use 4, that is evenly spaced to there, to there, to there. And so these 2. Now, let's say I want 3. Now those 3 are evenly spaced, right? Let's say I want 4. Those are evenly spaced. Does that make sense? So whatever the number is you want, you just add another 2. So if I want the center, I need 2 more, which is 3. If I want 2, I add 2 more, which is 4. Does that make sense? So then you can space as many or as few as you want. You just have to add 2 more to whatever the number is that you're looking for. Make sense? Okay. All right. Check this one out. So this one's a little crazy. Let's say there's a brace in here, right? I messed up. There's a wall. There's a brace. You know how we do the braces to reinforce the box? Like, you know, let's say there's a brace from here to here. My favorite, right? Magnets. So you take 2 magnets and
So you hit it.
I've hit it, right?
X-ray vision.
X-ray vision, I like that. But what do you think? Right now, obviously, those lines are about a 1/4 inch away from the edge of the magnet, right? But if I measure or whatever and then nail right down the center of it, I'm gonna hit it every rip, and I know where it ends, I know where it starts, and I know where it ends. So you can't, and again, you can do this another way. You measure from the edge, whatever. This is quicker and it's easy, right? It's fast, and so before I leave that in there and then it falls off and vibrates, but you understand what I'm saying, right? So bam, 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 you can sit there and nail the whole thing. What do you guys think of that? That one to me is like probably like the coolest one, right? Because, and that's 3/4 of an inch thick, and you saw it holds. And it isn't perfect, but it holds enough for you to draw. You're gonna be within a little bit, and again, usually wood's 3/4. So as long as you're within that 3/4, you're gonna hit the wood, right? So, but also it's good, like, let's say you needed to find a mounting hole or something, right? Let's say you want the hole to come out in a certain spot, but if it's at an angle, like I don't know how high I can go, and before I hit the, something like that, right? So the only thing is be careful, because these will bite you. Ask me how I know. Man, and then you can't get them apart, like, and you're like, son of a, I mean, literally you're like, they're strong, so just be careful, because they will bite you. So this is actually really cool. So we don't use this that much. We should, we've had it forever, but it is really easy. So basically what you do is, with like all the woofers, they come with a spec for mounting hole. For easy math, let's say it's 10 inches. You take 10 inches and you divide it in half. So it's 5. So then what you do is, you loosen this knob and you move this till it's 5 inches, right? So now you drill an 1/8 inch hole in the center of where you want the woofer to be, or whatever it is you want to be there. And look. And it literally, it's perfect. It's a perfect circle because it's spinning around its radius. Now on this one, because of the bit that we're using, you'd have to actually do both sides. So you would do a pass or 2 passes till you get to the center, and then you go to the other side. The only nice thing about doing it that way is it's super clean, where normally if you do it the other way, you'll have a blowout at the end, because obviously there's no material left, right? So this kind of holds it, and the blowout is in the center, but you could just sand that little nub off and it's gonna be perfect. But it's a good way to make, back in the day before like the lasers and the CNCs, if you wanted to make ring templates, circles, and you wanted them to be perfect, this is the way you did it. Because you could also do, like, let's say, see this one right here? So let's say this other line I drew. I could pick this up, loosen it, put the blade to here, and now cut that. Now I have a ring. And I can keep doing that. Like if I wanted to make 4, 5, 6, like if you're kind of like stacking, like you're putting one's the woofer, one's the trim ring, one's the grill, whatever, you can do that. Does that make sense? So what do you guys think? I mean, again, and the other nice thing about doing it this way is you're not gonna mess up the bench. Because normally, if you're doing it on the bench, you're gonna blow through and tear a hole in your bench. But with this, you can't do that, right? You're only going through so far, yeah. Now, if you're doing it on the box, it doesn't matter. Like a lot of guys, what they'll do is they build the whole box, drill 2 holes in it, and do it on the box before they carpet it. And that's it, they're done. We tend to, we build all our parts first, and then we assemble. But a lot of people don't do it that way. A lot of people do it the opposite. It's just kind of personal preference. But what do you guys think? Yeah, so it'd be cool to, like I said, that's literally right about the middle. Like, so if you did 1 pass or 2 passes, you want to do less passes because it's a lot of material, because you're just kind of hogging it out. But if you look, it's a super clean super clean cut. So if you guys ever need a ring, or we don't have one, or the laser's down or whatever, you can do that. Or if you need to make a hole in something, literally the only thing you have to remember is that it's half the distance, right? So if you measure and whatever and then cut it, it's gonna be twice as big as what you need, you know? So just remember half. But again, you can just, you could do a quick test pass, and then you could always tweak it a little bit. Like, hopefully you're undersized. Ideally, if you're gonna mess up smaller, right? Because if you mess up smaller and you need a little bit more, you loosen it, move the pin out slightly. This is going in the trash anyway. So then your hole is slightly, does that make sense? Yeah. So what I would do is, if you're gonna err on the side of caution, go like a hair smaller, cut it, measure it real quick, and then try it, right? So this way, and then if it's wrong, loosen it, move it over literally like a 16th, because you gotta remember, it's double. So if you move this a 16th, it's an 1/8 bigger, because it's a 16th on one side and a 16th on the other side. So now it's an 1/8 bigger. So 1/16 is a big difference. You'd almost want to move it like a 32nd. Like a 32nd would make it a 16th bigger overall. Does that make sense? So anytime you do that, the same way you have to have it to get the diameter, you're doubling it for the outside, or to increase it. Okay? So just a little thing to keep in mind. Cool? Yep. All right. Let's go. I mean, I like.
Visit our website at showtimeaudiochicago.com